Yeah, I went to Trinity High School and everything, so I've like always lived in here.
I used to work for the Eagles Police Department.
Ooh, was it crazy?
The school was my district.
Oh, really?
That whole neighborhood there, I had all that. And then I left and I came to Grapevine.
Okay. When was that?
I went to work in Eagles in '93.
Okay.
And I came up here in '98.
So I was 1 years old.
93 or
98. Yeah, I graduated 2016, so.
What you doing now?
Just music. I went to college for a little bit. It was like a Bible college, and then I dropped out because I'm gay. So.
You what?
Because I'm gay.
Oh.
So yeah, they don't really like that at Bible college. So.
They frowned upon that?
Yeah, it's really crazy.
It's
But
pretty close-minded.
I know, right? But yeah, so I dropped out of that. But yeah, I did like couple gigs and stuff all around town. Worked on music stuff. What's up, everybody? How are y'all doing today? My name is Avery Burke, and if y'all have watched this show a couple times, you've probably seen me on here before. I make music. I'm a singer, songwriter, musician, all that fun stuff. But yeah, I'm so happy to be here, and I would love to introduce our hosts today, AJ and DC. Let's go.
Avery, thanks. That was awesome. It was awesome, wasn't it?
Yep.
I liked it. So, AJ.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Barside Jive, baby.
Absolutely.
It's Monday.
Yeah.
Must be Monday noon Central,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we are so glad to be here. We are on the air and live at AJ's Bar, located 651 South Main Street in historic downtown Grapevine, Texas. I think we're looking pretty good today, don't you?
I look good every day, DC.
Well, it's not what Megan says.
Yes, it is.
We hope you guys had an outstanding weekend. Are the Olympics over?
Yes.
Well, I'm sure glad. Sure glad. Hey, man, I'm still like not over Dusty Hill.
Oh man, I was talking earlier about revisiting Fandango. You know?
Yeah.
Huge fucking ZZ Top fan.
Yeah,
But it's so much more different now. Listening
yeah,
to it.
yeah.
You know, going back and hearing it and just kind of just revisiting the whole thing. You know.
Yeah.
It's something that I just missed.
Yeah. You know, I have, I mean, that's my playlist has been ZZ Top ever since. I mean, I've listened to it, documentaries, done some reading. Actually, Texas Monthly's got a real cool tribute story this month.
All the guys, man, just the epitome of nothing but coolness.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely. They defined it. But guys, check out Nick Patoskis, his tribute to the Texas legend and his story on my Facebook page or at texashighways.com. Okay. Well, hey, Glenn Campbell,
Yeah.
right? Yesterday, been 4 years since he's been gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a loss. And if you guys haven't seen the documentary, it's a must-see. I'll Be Me. I mean, it's a tearjerker, guys. It was emotional, but it's the best documentary. And he was he and his family were very brave, not only to do that last tour, but to put out there his medical condition with Alzheimer's and all, and that's affected so many people.
What's your favorite Glenn Campbell song?
The Wichita Lineman.
Yeah. I like Try a Little Kindness.
Yeah, great songs.
We need that right now.
Yeah, that's right.
Just be nice to people.
Right, absolutely. That should be everyone's mantra. Need a lot more love in the world.
And Alzheimer's, man, to go out like that, man. Just,
Yeah.
oof.
And so many people
Yeah.
have gone and will go unless something is discovered that cures it or slows the progress. It's
So I don't know, man. I couldn't deal with that, man. It's just I guess you're just locked up in your mind,
yeah. I had to watch Rooster Cogburn just because of Glenn Campbell. I had to see it
I
again.
forgot about him.
I hadn't seen it forever, and I thought those cool.
I was scrolling through and Cogburn popped up on there, and I watched just a little bit of it. I fell asleep.
Yeah, what a great
I'm old
show.
now.
They redid it with Jeff Bridges, and it's good, but it's, I like the classic, and plus Glenn Campbell's in the classic. And
Well, they redid it because they don't have an original bone left in their body.
Yeah.
In Hollywood.
Right.
They had to remake stuff.
Right.
Because they can't be creative.
Right. I get that. But you guys check out I'll Be Me. Great documentary on Glenn Campbell, and wow, yeah, what a loss. Guys, we also today have Avery Burke. She stopped by, singer-songwriter, and we're going to chat with her a minute. Avery, come on over.
What's up?
So what's going on? So tell us what's going on in the music world in your life.
Music world. Okay, so I'm working on an EP. I'm working on some singles, some stuff like that. Trying to play everywhere, but yeah, I'm just kind of doing more of the behind-the-scenes stuff right now.
So it's like picking up now with COVID kind of
Yeah,
phasing out right here. At least here in
definitely.
Texas,
Yeah.
we're lucky enough to live in a state where they've got some balls, yeah. Yeah, so things are picking up, so you're actually able to get out and play some.
It's nice, yeah. I played at Trees about 3 times this year already too.
Trees.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, now that's a cool place to play.
It's my favorite place so far. It's insane. The energy there is crazy.
With the people that have played there. Yeah, I mean that's
literally.
It's like
You've obviously never played at AJ's.
I haven't.
no. There's always that opportunity here.
I mean, I will.
Hey, they've got Great Fest coming up. I mean, you got to drink at AJ's because he only pays in alcohol.
Oh man, my band will be happy about that, but I'm not.
Yeah, well, they got Cokes.
Oh, I'll drink. Yeah, just caffeine me up the whole time.
I bet he'd give you some
Turkey leg.
barbecue in lieu of the drinks. So yeah, you're getting back out, you're playing again, and you got an EP coming out. Anything else going on?
Not really right now, no.
Yeah.
Just.
Which it's great seeing you. You got a great family. I love Roger and your mom and your sister, and good family, really talented folks, and just good people. So I know we didn't talk a lot about this, but would you mind playing us a song?
Yeah, for sure.
You don't mind?
No, I don't
Well,
mind.
grab that guitar. Let's do it. Guys, this is Avery Burke right here from DFW.
Does it matter which chair I'm in? This one?
Sit here because you're a little bit off.
Ooh.
A little bit off camp. There we go.
So this is a song that I wrote a couple years back. It's called Going Crazy. It actually came out last year, I believe, so yeah. I've been feeling crazy, thinking about you, baby. Twisted thoughts and trust issues. I wanna be okay. Nothing we can't get through, make them go away. Inside I'm screaming, don't leave me. Outside I'm like, why you wanna be? Please, baby, don't leave me. Baby, if you say so, I'll be tripping on your love. Will you give it though? It's hard for me to open up, but I'm able. Need to know that you'll be faithful. You'll be faithful. I said, baby, if you say so, I'll be tripping on your love. Will you give it though? Hard for me to open up, but I'm able. Need to know that you'll be. Got patterns, I've seen this before. Don't wanna be that girl anymore. Love so free, strangled by anxiety. I'm not being me. Don't know how I'm supposed to be. I know I'm hurting in bed, but you're the best that I've had. I know there's something I lack, but I'm falling off track. Said I've been going crazy. I've been going crazy. Said I've been going crazy. Said I've been, oh I've been. I said, baby, if you say so, I'll be tripping on your love. Will you give it though? Hard for me to open up, but I'm able. Need to know that you'll be. I said, baby, if you say so, I'll be tripping on your love. Will you give it though? Hard for me to open up, but I'm able. Need to know that you'll be. I've been going crazy, I don't feel right. I don't feel right. Thank you guys.
That was awesome. Don't you go anywhere, you hang around, okay?
I actually have.
Hey, were you sure you don't know any George Jones stuff?
No, AJ, come
I
on.
don't know George Jones.
Get your phone.
Literally, write down some people. Right here.
All the way.
All the way?
All the way.
All
Yeah,
the way?
back over here.
Back over here.
You
Oh.
gotta get some-
I'm giving stage direction here. Sorry, let me get a hug.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Doing good. Okay, so Avery will be back. We're going to have her come back and towards the end of the show, see if she'll play us another one, but she's going to hang around with us. So, where are we? Oh, so I got one for you. So this guy meets this MILF at a bar, all right? And although she was like 65 years old, I think she's actually 67, but we'll say 65, she's still pretty charming and, you know, quite attractive. So, you know, they were drinking and chatting and laughing and basically having a pretty good time, like people do at AJ's. They have a pretty good time here at the bar, right? So then she, like, got a little flirty and asked him, after he cleared his throat, have you ever tried a mother-daughter threesome before? He said, no, not yet. She drank a little more and then she said, well, darling, tonight is your lucky night. So she like took him to her place. She took out her keys. She opened the door. She turned on the light, and then she yelled up towards the stairs, "Mom, are you still awake?" Okay. Well, guys, Barside Jive is sponsored by the legendary Zoo. Right, Tony? Well, if Tony set this up. Yeah.
Zoo.
On vocal.
The Zoo. King of classic rock, deep cuts, B-sides, that stuff you're never going to hear on corporate radio. The Zoo is streamed universally 24/7, 365 from vocalnow.com, and don't forget that vocal is intentionally misspelled with a K. All right, guys, my featured guest today is Craig Brooks. Craig Brooks, that dude right there. Craig is an American rock guitarist, best known as a member of American Tears and these guys, Touch, from New York City. And here he is now, Craig Brooks. Yeah, baby. Here's Craig.
This is Craig Brooks from Touch, and you're watching Barside Jive.
Thanks, Craig. We will see you in a minute. This is about the time of the show when I usually turn over to AJ and say, AJ, what are we drinking?
We're drinking Raw and Sons.
Well, what did you drink? I was start saying, what did you drink?
Well, man, you're
Since
doing
it's-
all that talking, man. I got
Since
some
it's
drinking
gone.
to get done, man.
I know my throat. I need to clear my throat. Woo. Mmm.
It's so good.
That's tasty. What is this?
This is Raw and Sons Oktoberfest at Marzen.
Fort Worth.
Mhm.
Fort Worth Brewery.
That was, Raw and Sons was my first craft beer that I had in the restaurant.
Really?
Yeah.
First one.
Yeah.
Why? Because they were like close?
They were close, and I met Fritz, the former owner. It's on. I mean, it's sold out now, but
Yeah.
it was his birthday, or it was the beer's birthday, and they had a birthday beer, but they had these cardboard cutouts of Fritz, and he was holding a beer, and he's in a tuxedo, and they brought it in, and they stuck it over in the corner, and when I come to work, man, I walk in with my money bag and my pistol,
Oh.
and flipped on the lights, and I turned, and
You saw Fritz.
Fritz was there, and I nearly shot Fritz.
Really?
I dropped the money bag and was
Drew down on him?
It was like,
Wow.
shit. So Fritz
Wow.
got drug outside and thrown in the trash.
Wow. Now this is cool right here.
Yeah, hopadillo.
Oh, that's another day.
Yeah.
Well, that's a cool story, AJ. You got any more?
Got nothing, man.
Well, you know,
Nothing.
let me
I
tell,
got
let me
nothing.
tell you, beer is a clear choice when you're choosing bar beverages. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, did we
Oh,
official?
cheers.
Cheers. And speaking of clear, yeah, speaking of clear, okay, so Barack Obama walks into a bar, but he's totally invisible. After,
My mind is.
after attracting the bartender's attention, the bartender says, okay, I'll buy it. Why are you invisible? Brock says, well, I found a bottle on the beach and then I rubbed it. And then, importantly, a genie came out. The genie said, hey, I could have 3 wishes. So for my first wish, I said, hey, let me say this. And this is profoundly important. I want Michelle to marry me. I love him. And I think America will too. That wish was granted. For my second wish, I said I want to be president of the United States. AJ, the most powerful person in the free world, and it's a pretty cool gig. That wish was granted too. And then for my third wish, I started by saying, let me be clear.
Yeah.
No,
No.
Morgan liked it.
No. I'm laughing at you, buddy.
What to put Morgan on camera? She laughs. You know, I didn't. Tony's not here, so he couldn't laugh either.
Oh, no burrito, Tony?
Yep. Be sure to check out my YouTube channel. Just search Barside Jive Live at youtube.com and click subscribe. And then click that little bitty bell to receive notifications when I post my premium content, which is free to all you guys because AJ thinks you're premium people. Right, AJ?
Right.
And that will bring us up to our featured guest segment, which is sponsored by our friends over at
Foghat Sellers.
There we go.
Hi DC, thanks for having us on your show. And for you folks, I'm Roger of the band Foghat, and these are our wines. Foghat Cellars. This is a Chardonnay from Monterey County, absolutely delicious. 2014. We have 2013 Pinot Noir from Monterey County. It's absolutely fabulous, a wonderful drinking wine. If you like Pinots, you'll love it. This is a Cabernet Sauvignon from Paso Robles. All our wines come from Central Coast of California. Steve Rasmussen is our winemaker, though in fact myself and Linda actually get involved in the making of some of our wines. Drink, enjoy, go to foghatcellars.com to find out how to get them. Thanks, bye.
Yeah, you got to boogie. All God's children got a boogie till the break of dawn. Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
All right, don't forget to use our special coupon code.
Coupon
Coupon code.
code.
Barside Jive, all caps, at the checkout screen for your 20% discount.
There you go. Oh, there's something else, AJ.
And you can even get your bottle autographed by the legendary drummer, Roger Earl.
Legendary.
Legendary. The only remaining member
Only remaining live member.
of the classic Foghat lineup.
Dude, we're losing them.
Mhm.
Right. Roger,
Roger,
stay healthy, baby.
You better wrap yourself in some bubble wrap.
Stay healthy. We don't want to lose you. All right. Well, as I mentioned earlier today, my featured guest is, that's right, Mr. Craig Brooks. Craig Brooks, guitarist of New York City rock bands American Tears, which later transformed into Touch back in 1978. That band consisted of Mark Mangold, songwriter and keyboards, Glenn Kithcart on drums, and Craig Brooks, guitars. Had all previously been in the band American Tears, releasing 3 albums on Columbia Records. The lineup was completed by bassist Doug Howard. Their single, Don't You Know What Love Is, reached number 69 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 in some territories, as did their single, When the Spirit Moves You. However, the song was played heavily on AOR radio stations in the USA, like the Zoo, during the early 1980s, and did well on a specialist melody maker chart in Great Britain. The band released one eponymous album in 1980 and a second unreleased album, which was recorded in 1982 and I believe produced by Todd Rundgren. Touch was the first band to play at the inaugural, this is big, they were the first band to ever play at the inaugural Monsters of Rock Festival at Castle Donington Racetrack back in 1980. And that, my friends, is pretty huge. A live version of Don't You Know What Love Is appeared on the compilation LP Monsters of Rock, documenting performances at the festival. So I'll be right back with Craig Brooks after this quick break. COVID?
Yeah.
Got to put on my glasses.
He didn't get the shot, did he?
No,
You should get it.
I'm not gonna get it.
Man, you should get it.
I'm not getting it.
This next barrel.
It is time for me to introduce my guest, Craig Brooks. He is an American guitarist and vocalist, best known as a member of the American rock bands American Tears and Touch. Throughout Craig's career, he has also worked as a recording musician and band member with artists such as Roger Glover, Todd Rundgren, and Michael Bolton. Craig, it is such a pleasure having you here today.
Thanks. Pleasure to be here.
Well, thanks so much for taking the time out of your Monday post Independence Day weekend to be here with us. You know, like so many musicians, your love of music was sparked after watching the Beatles' first appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show back in what, 64?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Everybody remembers that.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Can you remember how that moment when that happened made you feel?
Yeah, absolutely. Before that, I mean, I was not, look at it this way. I guess I was 9 years old. And, you know, you had heard about it before it actually happened. You know, I mean, we were aware of the music, you heard it on the radio, even if you weren't, like, I had no designs on being a musician at the time. I mean, I was 9 years old, I didn't know anything.
Right.
And it was funny, you know, I'm lying there on the floor and I'm watching it on TV and everybody was talking about it. My sister is a couple of years older than me. And so it's like, I knew it was coming up. I just wanted to see what it was all about. And it was just the reaction. It's the same thing that everybody got sucked into. You know, it was the audience reaction and the young kids. And it was like, it was just this incredibly exciting thing that was going on. I didn't know what it was. You know, I couldn't identify for you what I was thinking it was supposed to be or anything. All I knew was I looked at it and I thought, that's really cool. And, you know, Paul McCartney stepped up and started singing and everybody went nuts and all the girls went nuts. and I didn't even know. I thought then and there, I said, like, I think I'd like to play the guitar. I didn't know he played a bass. I didn't know anything about it.
Right.
But I just thought that looks like a really good way to make a living. And that was my reaction. That was my reaction to the whole thing, and it became a very big part of my life ever since then. It's funny. That summer, the following summer, I remember walking around my just my neighborhood, my little neighborhood in New Jersey, and I saw a flyer on the ground, and it was for a new music store that was opening up around the corner. And I thought, right, free guitar lessons, this kind of thing. If you get one of their guitars to play, you rent one of their guitars and all that sort of thing. And I brought it home, and my parents said, yeah, go ahead, and I started taking, and that was it. I mean, it was literally because I watched the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show, and there you go. Everything just snowballed and became bigger and bigger, and you'd wind up meeting all your friends in the neighborhood, because I think there was a whole movement. I mean, it wasn't just little old me. It was like all my friends. All of a sudden, you had all these people in your small little neighborhood who were, all of a sudden, you found out they were interested in music and they wanted to play. And that's kind of how it started. It was amazing. Beginning of rock music for me, a young me at the age of 9. Yeah.
Wow. So here he is, Craig Brooks, 9 years old, playing with his Tonka trucks. And then all the
G.I. Joes,
G.I. Joes. And then all of a sudden, the Beatles.
Yeah. It changed everything. And
Changed
the amazing thing about it is it still changes everything,
Yeah. You developed an interest in playing guitar early on, like many. But why did you choose the guitar over drums?
I don't know. I mean, the idea of, it's a hard question to answer. It's just, they were up front. That's what I saw. And that's what I gravitated to. You know what I mean? They were singing, and it was singing too. It was like, when you're playing in your little garage bands, around the neighborhood and stuff like that, when you're that young with friends, you're very self-conscious. Nobody wanted to sing because that was like a step too far,
Right.
that kind of thing. And I just sort of fell into it a little bit. I mean, it was like you could play your guitar with your friends and stuff like that, and everybody was struggling with the same thing. But don't think it so much of yourself that you're going to step out and you're going to start singing too. You know what I mean? Because I'm from New Jersey, man, and it's like, it was all that, But no, it was just because they were up front. I remember once, it was like, just like everybody else who's young and starts playing the guitar and their fingers start to hurt. I started thinking to myself, maybe I should have taken up the drums, But my dad didn't let me quit, and he said, listen, you keep going, you give it another year and I'll buy an electric guitar for it, and that's how and so that was all the encouragement I needed,
So if your parents hadn't been as supportive as they were, you may not have experienced what you did.
Well, it's like I needed that one. Everybody needs that one push in the beginning. You know what I mean? No matter what it is you do in life.
Yeah.
Everybody needs that little bit of encouragement, and your parents are there to give you that. And I was lucky enough to and the other thing too is, I don't know, my parents wanted to hear me banging on drums all day long in the house. So I mean, that was another thing too. It was sort of like a survivalist kind of thing,
Yeah. The lesser of the evils.
Yeah, exactly. So but yeah, I mean, it was the music more than anything. I mean, the first record I bought was Help.
Oh, okay.
I bought it as a 45. It was the first record I ever bought with my own money.
Wow.
And so, it's like, as you get older and you have more access to, being able, spending money and being able to buy your own records and stuff like that, and all that kind of thing, then that becomes your motivation. Then you discover all the other bands. Then you, because radio really brought brought it all home, and it's just like every other story, it's like you're listening to the radio, and at night when you're supposed to be sleeping, you got it on real low and it's underneath your blanket and all this kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like you couldn't turn it off after a certain point,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You were hooked.
Yeah, hooked. Yeah.
Did mom and dad play?
No, I don't come from a musical family. No, it was interesting that I've often thought about that too. No, it's just that I think they loved music and they listened. Music was always playing in the house, but there was nothing other than what the popular music was at the time, listening to the radio and that kind of thing. So they were aware of the Beatles too. And I think they caught on, everybody caught on. They realized it was something different, and the music, I mean, you have to admit the music of the Beatles at the time with the melodies and the harmonies and just the beautiful songs, really resonated with everyone, regardless of how young or how old you were, I think.
Right.
And still does,
And still does. That's right. Now, do you still own the 1964 Gibson SG?
I do indeed. And I play it a lot. Yeah.
Do you? Still do.
Oh yeah. It's here and I pick it up every now and again. And I keep playing. Right now it's one of a few guitars. I had a bunch of guitars that I don't have anymore. And so I'm in the process of looking at new guitars. But that one is something that I will always just cherish. That was the guitar that my dad bought me when I was 9, 1964, right off the wall.
Wow.
It's funny thing was though, he said, go ahead, pick out the one you want. And because I didn't know anything about electric guitars, I picked the one I picked, it was, an SG Junior,
Right.
And right next to it was a beautiful double pickup, all white, and I know my father was probably sitting there thinking, oh God, I'm glad he didn't go for the other one, because it was a lot of money, so I think I did him a favor, but.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome that they were that supportive. Most musicians, Craig, when they're young and they start bands, it's a 3 or 4 piece band, but you guys wound up putting like 10 musicians, including a horn section.
Oh God, you're talking about one of the old bands that I had when I was in school.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You guys said, it's like, to heck with 3 or 4 piece, we're going to go for like 10. And you've got a horn section and you're doing like Chicago and Santana songs.
Yeah, I know. That's right. That's what we did. It was interesting way back in the day. Bands tended to, when you're playing it, at that level, bands tended to specialize in certain kinds of music and they were known for playing songs from this band or the other. And I was in a group that we did a lot of Chicago, we did a lot of Santana, we did a lot of that kind of thing. But we just, we brought, it was just a love of the music,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's awesome because no one else ever does that. I mean, no one,
Yeah, we never made any money.
Yeah. That's a lot of people on the stage, especially, when you guys were that young,
Well, back in high school days. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's how I really got into singing and all that because, I just always gravitated towards those groups with big vocal power,
Yeah.
That was the thing that always, I love Led Zeppelin and and Pink Floyd and but the harmony bands, the Doobie Brothers, just really, really did it for me. You know what I mean? And I don't know why, but I've always gravitated that sound of harmony. It must have been because of the Beatles, really. That sound of that harmony singing. It's always been there for me. I remember every time I hear like a Young Rascals song, reminds me of the summertime. There's everything that's the thing that you love about music because it does bring a moment in time right up front. You remember where you were, the whole thing. And but I just loved all those harmony groups. They were great. It was all good.
Well, in the summer of '75, you got this phone call to come to New York and audition for the progressive hard rock band American Tears.
That's
And
right.
the next year, you guys were signed to your first recording contract with Columbia
Right.
Records. I mean, that's
That's right.
huge.
Yeah, that was really huge. Yeah.
So
Um,
how did that make you feel?
well, it was great. I mean, I went into New York and met with Mark, and it was pretty quick. I mean, we had a couple of rehearsals, and then we did we did a few dates here and there, but we basically started working on Powerhouse immediately, and that was my first foray into recording. Yeah, it was a huge learning experience for me because I was young and I'd been playing in bands, doing clubs and bars and everything else, for years and years.
Right.
But this was different, and this is what opened up, all these other possibilities. This is what sort of expanded my career.
Yeah, I mean, you were signed with Columbia Records. I mean, how old were you?
I don't know. What's 1975? 20.
Wow. Wow. And then years later, you guys decide to change the name to Touch.
Well, we did we played a lot of dates and we traveled around and we changed bass players a few times. And we really were we spent a lot of time honing our craft. What I think probably came about, we were in between labels. We didn't have a record deal at the time. And our sound began to evolve. At which point we met Doug, and he came and auditioned for the band, playing bass and singing. And I think that at that point, we knew that we had something that transcended what we were doing with American Tears, and it became an identity on its own that we didn't have before, I think, with background vocals, and it clicked immediately. And we stood there and we knew the first time he came in and we sat there and we were singing together, we realized this was a really important change in the group, and this was the beginning of Touch.
So why the name change?
I think, we wanted to we were developing a different identity. The songs themselves, because we had played them, we'd always, you're constantly working on your music. You're constantly developing a better sound. It's everything from arranging to, vocal performance. And we became, just that much of a tighter group. I think we wanted to reintroduce ourselves and start over with a brand new name, brand new sound, brand new lineup. And that's where we went.
Was that at management's prompting to do that, or was that one you got?
No. I think it was something that we evolved ourselves. We decided that that's where we were going to go with it. It's a long time ago. It's it's I'm paraphrasing here because like I said, it was a long time ago and there's a lot of water under the bridge. So I'll try and remember as best as I can.
Okay. So in 1979, you guys signed your second recording contract with Atlantic's Atco Records.
Atco Records, yeah.
I mean, it's like you guys were hitting home runs like right and left.
Well, we signed with new management. We got this record off the ground, and we had a lot of new songs. And we had some songs from American Tears days that we redid, that we re-recorded as well. And that in itself really sort of pushed forward the idea that we were a different band at the time. So it was good that we just, we continued on, and we had an opportunity to, finally step out into, a new audience and reintroduce ourselves, which is what we did.
Right. Well, the debut album, Touch, was released with two significant singles, "Don't You Know What Love Is"
Yeah.
and "Call Me When the Spirit Moves You."
Right.
Can you tell me the backstory on those two songs?
Well, I mean, they were both, I mean, Mark wrote both songs, and we wanted something. I know it's probably a better question for him, considering that it was such a long time ago, but I know that, the label wanted to have a hit single. They like always, recording albums back then
Right.
was a little bit different than it is now. You can be more eclectic with your music now than you could back then. You had to have that thing that you can hang your hat on,
Right.
And Mark walked in with both of those songs, and we worked them out, and they turned out to be very good, and they resonated with the folks. People that fans of ours that are still around really love that music, and they love those two songs. Yeah.
So Mark basically just brought the songs to the rest of the band, the lyrics, the melody, said this
Yeah.
is it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And you guys were just like on board.
Yeah, I mean, we spend a lot of time, working out parts and putting our own signature on the music, and we've always sort of worked together as a group. It's good. It was always a good relationship.
Although the single "Don't You Know What Love Is" made it to like number 69 on the Billboard Hot 100 here in the States, the album did much better over in Great Britain, didn't it?
I think it did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I mean, that happened a lot, right? I mean, it's for a lot of bands.
Well, I guess, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to answer that one. It was, we had some pockets of success here in the US, but we did have some pretty good charting in the UK.
Yeah. And some people didn't do so well here in the States, but they'd go over to Budokan and just blow up.
Yeah.
And then they'd come back and suddenly they were huge in the States.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah.
One notable live performance, Craig, for Touch was as the opening band at the very first, I might say, Donington Monsters of Rock Music Festival in Nottingham, England, along with names such as the Scorpions and Judas Priest and Rainbow.
Saxon. Yeah.
Yeah. So what was it like to get that news that you guys were going to perform there?
Well, I mean, it was another show. It was a great opportunity, and we were real happy to do it. And but I don't know that anybody really understood what it was all going to become. If I had that kind of hindsight, I mean, you certainly would have appreciated it even more than we did already. We didn't realize what it was going to become over time, and that we were the first band on in this very successful run of concerts.
Yeah.
But it was a great show. I mean, the people were, it was a good day. The people were really great. We had some problems with the sound here and there. We were first band up, and we were sort of,
nervous as hell.
Checked. We were sort of sound checked as we went, that kind of thing. So, but overall the crowd was great, and we had a great response, and it was good.
So how'd it feel to perform on that stage in front of all those people?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it was really great. I all the shows that we did, it's a rush. And especially when you have a really appreciative audience, it's great.
Oh,
because nobody knew us over there at the time. You know what I mean?
Right. You were unknown.
And it's a hard position to be in, but you know what? We really enjoyed it, and they enjoyed the music, and it was great.
And then, if we continue down this path of success, that performance of "Don't You Know What Love Is" was actually captured on the live, iconic live album, right?
Right.
So it seemed like everything you guys touched, no pun intended, really just worked out really well for you guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know what to say. History being what it is, you take those moments and you hold on to them. You remember them your whole life.
Yeah. Yeah. Craig, what do you think? I mean, you look back at your career and all the successes that you guys have seen. What comes to mind when you look back?
Oh my. The camaraderie between us as musicians. We've always had, it's funny, I know you're going to get to it eventually. But when we got together to, talk about doing the new album, we hadn't seen each other for a while. And when we got together, you have this thing where you're all standing there in the same room. And, there's the obligatory, everybody throws their arms around one another and you ask how your families are and all this kind of thing. And then you stand back and you stare at one another because you haven't seen each other for 30 or 40 years or whatever it's been.
Right.
And when we began singing together that day in the studio, even just the discussions back and forth, the bantering, the relationship sort of conversations, the secondhand, it just all fell back into almost almost as if no time had passed at all. You know what I mean?
Wow.
It was very interesting. And I think that's probably because you asked me what it is that I remember. I remember the camaraderie. And I remember the working relationship that we had. And I really think that that's probably the thing that I will hold on to forever,
That's awesome, Craig. Guys, you are watching Barside Jive with my guest, Craig Brooks of American rock bands American Tears and Touch. Okay, so I want to ask you about working with Todd Rundgren, because you guys recorded a second Touch album in '82 with producer and rock and roll Hall of Famer Todd Rundgren. What was that like?
That was a confusing, difficult situation to be in. I think Todd maybe lost a little interest after a period of time. When we first started out, it was really good, and we met with Todd at his house, and Mark and I had a really great day with him, and we tossed around ideas, but it became, again, we're going back in time, and it just became, the communication sort of fell apart a little bit at a certain point, and we found ourselves sort of a little bit more left on our own. And so we wound up having to finish the album. As you know, the album never got released, except way down the line as sort of, just an interesting thing. But it was difficult, it was difficult. It wasn't the kind of experience that I had, say, with Roger Glover, who's I love dearly, and we played. I was part of Mask and helped recording the album Mask with Roger, and
Right.
It was just it's always different. The processes that you go through when you're recording an album are different every time. There are some people that you find a little bit easier to work with, and vice versa. Everybody is different, you know what I mean? So, I guess what I'm saying is, without getting into it too terribly much, it was a painful experience, and I don't dwell on it or anything like that,
Right. So Todd Rundgren, of course, Roger, you worked with him, and then there was Michael Bolton.
Yeah.
Actually, you performed on his first Columbia solo album, right?
That's right. Guitar? Yeah, we did a lot of background vocals with him. Yeah, Michael's cool.
And that was a really big change, right? Because you kind of went from hard rock to more of a pop.
Yeah, I mean, actually, that album, had a really nice sort of pop feel, but this got the heavy guitars and stuff. I mean, it's the songwriting is really strong, and it was a great album. We enjoyed doing it. Singing with Michael was a lot of fun, and you know, he got some. I mean, it was a good album. People still talk about some of the songs on that album, which is great.
Yeah. So let me stop real quick and ask you, favorite band ever, Craig? Favorite?
My favorite band?
Yes.
Who am I the biggest fan of?
Yes.
Uh, can I only pick one? Can I
Only
pick more
pick
than
one.
one? I'd have to say Steely Dan.
Wow. Good choice.
I'd have to say Steely Dan. I would say Steely Dan, Pink Floyd, and the Beatles.
Okay.
I
Top
suppose
three.
I'd have to say Steely Dan.
Okay.
I mean, just musicianship, just amazing. You know what I mean? I mean, but there are so many. I mean, the Doobie Brothers. And there's a connection between Doobie Brothers and Steely Dan. So I mean, it's like it's. I'd have to say Steely Dan. I'll own up.
Yeah. Great choice. Great choice, and for a good reason too.
Yeah. It's like my two favorite albums would have to be Abbey Road and Royal Scam.
Oh yeah.
Just amazingly innovative on all different levels, and probably the two most influential albums for me personally as a singer and as a guitarist, I would have to say.
Craig, do you have any hobbies other than music?
I'm an artist, but I don't have any hobbies. I mean, it's like
Wait a minute, you're an artist?
Well, yeah, sure.
What kind of art do you do?
Well, I'm an art director. I'm a product designer, and all that sort of thing. But music has always been the essence of who I am. Probably because I was so influenced by music so early on in my life.
Right. The original band have now reformed after almost 40 years?
Yeah.
To create the new album Tomorrow Never
It's crazy,
Comes.
right?
Yeah, oh, totally crazy. and Tomorrow Never Comes is already being hailed as your best work to date, and a triumphant return to your classic AOR sound.
I have to say it's been really gratifying.
Yeah.
The one thing that I think we all had in mind when we finally decided that we were actually going to talk seriously about doing it was to make sure that, I mean, we love the First Touch album, obviously, and it's meant so much to all of us and to the fans. But this is a lot of years later, and there's been a lot of water under the bridge, a lot of growing. We're completely different people, than we were. And we wanted that to be reflected in the music, but we still wanted it to be a Touch album. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think we accomplished that. I remember when we first started seriously talking about it, like 2.5 years ago, whatever it was now, I can't remember. Mark sent a couple of songs, some sort of seed songs, if you will. This is kind of what I'm thinking, and I remember, I'm trying to think of what it was. I think it might have been Broken Glass, no, or Frozen Ground. But I remember listening to it, his demo, and it had almost a mystery to it that I saw as being lived a lifetime between this and the stuff that came before it.
Yeah.
And it struck me, I don't want to say it was dark, but it had a seriousness to it that just, and this is just me talking. This is just my initial reaction to it. And I know I played it for my wife and I said, it's good, but it's different enough, and I can just see it. I can hear the rest of the band playing and I could hear it all put together in my head. And I think that's when we first, then that's when we did either a Skype call or something like that, where we all got together and started talking. And I think it was at that point that we decided that, yeah, we should do this. We should at least get together and see, if we're broken or not, you know what I mean? Or if we're okay,
Right.
And that's when we decided to all meet up in New York, because we're from all over, we're in different places, living our lives. And it was interesting, it was like we got together and we just started singing, and it was just like we stepped back in time. It was a little bit freaky, chilling.
Wow. Wow.
Because I mean, when you listen to the record, the songs, I mean, it's still there, the essence of who we were, and the sound. It's all still there, which was a very pleasant surprise after all this time.
Yeah. That is so cool, right?
But I do think, I mean, I agree with you. I think, to be very honest, I think this is some of our best work. And I don't know. Hopefully there's more to come. We'll have to see, we'll see what happens in the future.
We'll keep those fingers crossed, Craig.
Fingers crossed.
You guys released a video for the second single, Let It Come.
Yeah.
And I know Mark said about the video, it felt like deja vu all over again, which is pretty much what you're saying. So you would agree with that statement?
Sure, I would. Yeah, I would. I mean, we're beaten up. We've lived our lives, but the essence of where music comes from in a person, I can see it never goes away. You know what I mean? As soon as Glenn picked up those sticks and started to play, and the three of us stood around in a circle, just like we did years ago, the first time we met, and started singing Don't You Know What Love Is, to see how on key or off key we were, and we were good. It was really something, It was special.
So it was emotional.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know how emotional it is. I mean, I'm from New Jersey. I'm not all that emotional about
you're a tough guy.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, but however, it was, you get chills, it's like, oh my God, it's still there. And that's the thing that just, it makes you happy to know that, it's still there.
Do you know Tommy James?
Yeah, I do, actually. Well, I did years ago.
Yeah. I had Tommy on. We had such a good time. We wound up spending nearly 3 hours. We did like 3 sessions. I couldn't believe it. I never would have thought in my life that I would spend 3 hours with Tommy James. I mean, when I was a kid and first saw him on TV, he was larger than life, with the hair and a high-heeled shoe.
Oh, yeah.
And
Crystal Blue Persuasion. Yeah, I know.
Oh, dude, I love Tommy. And but I know he's from the same part of the woods as you, so I figured you might know him.
Yeah, with Tommy James, Young Rascals. I mean, that's all stuff. I mean, it's immediately summertime for me when I hear those songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old a guy are you now?
I'm 65.
Oh yeah, you're still young.
Oh yeah, I got.
Dude, you look really great, so I figured you were pretty young. I mean, you got all your teeth, your hair looks great. I mean, either your wife's taking particular care of you or you're a younger guy. So
yeah, it's all down to my wife, believe me.
So you're happily married, got a couple of girls, right?
Yeah. Got a lovely family.
They're all doing good?
Yeah, everybody's fine.
Everybody's surviving COVID?
Yeah.
Is that about over up there?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, I notice you're not wearing a mask.
Where are you? You down in Texas?
Yeah, we're in Dallas.
Ah,
Yeah.
I've been meaning to come down to Texas. Actually, we love driving through the western states, and I've never been down to Texas. I'm always
Oh my
planning on
God,
going
you
there.
got to come. You got to come to Grapevine. We're 5 minutes from Dallas Fort Worth Airport. The barbecue and the beer are on me.
Okay, all right.
Seriously, you think I'm
Yeah,
kidding?
so I'm serious. I'll take you up on it.
You and your wife? No,
Yeah.
I'm not kidding either. I'm serious.
All right,
So tell me what's next.
we'll talk offline.
Okay, what's next for Craig Brooks?
Well, I mean, for what's next for me, I don't know. We're writing. I mean, we're always writing new material. So we'll have to see what happens. I mean, Touch is my band. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, maybe there's a solo album. I'll have to see how it goes. But, it's been very gratifying. The reaction to the album has been wonderful. And I have to thank all the fans. I think it's great. And I love the responses that I get, I got a website, Craig-Brooks.com, and the fans out there, get in contact with me. I love hearing from people. It's great. And also we have the Touch website, or not website, but Touch Facebook page, which it'll all have all the new videos. We're working on some more videos as well. So we've got all that coming up. And the Touch site, has all the latest and any information and all that sort of thing. But yeah, we love hearing from people.
Very cool. Very cool. Man, I wish you and your family, your bandmates, the very best of health, happiness, and success, Craig.
Thanks.
And I really appreciate your time.
Thanks, Daryl. Thanks.
You're welcome. Guys, everything Touch can be found on the band's Facebook page, as Craig mentioned, facebook.com/Touch Rock Band. You can also find Craig Brooks on his own website, Craig-Brooks.com. And as always, I will include links to his media in the description below this video. So all you have to do is simply click. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with Craig and I today. And please like and share this video. And please click subscribe to my YouTube channel. I mean, it's free. And then click that tiny bell to receive notifications when I post something new. That will wrap this episode of Barside Jive. And until next time, peace, love, and rock and roll. Right, Craig?
Yep. Peace, love.
All right. Craig.
All right, Daryl.
Thanks again very much. I appreciate you. Okay, take care of yourself.
Yeah, you too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that chat with.
Come on, man.
Crap. Always happens.
Dude.
I know it sucks. So hope you enjoyed my chat with Craig Brooks. It was awesome. Hope it was as awesome for you as it was for me. Make sure you turn us on next Monday. Whoops. Well, where's Tony when you need him? Make sure you turn us on next Monday, noon Central, for another episode of
Barside Jive.
There you go. That's right. AJ, Barside Jive. We got anything else to say? Hang on. No, I can't go by yet. Oh, although we regularly consume alcoholic beverages on this show, we want to remind you that you need to drink responsibly and don't drink and drive.
Hold on. I'm drinking responsibly. I got both hands on it.
Both hands?
Yeah.
Both hands on the glass. Well, guys, I think Avery's still here. We're going to get her back in here unless you got anything to add.
I got nothing.
Okay, we're going to let Avery play us out. So here she is one more time, Avery Burke.
I'm gonna play a song that probably everybody should know. It's not written by me, but
George Jones?
no, I don't know.
Waylon Jennings.
Yeah. Buddy Holly.
Sunshine when she's gone. sunshine when she's gone. In this house, she'll say no. Anytime she goes away. Wonder this time when she's gone. Wonder if she's gone to stay. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. In this house, she'll say no. Anytime she goes away. I know, 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 I know. You know what I don't know? When to stop saying I know. I don't leave this thing alone. No sunshine when she's gone. No sunshine when she's gone. Darkness every day. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. In this house, she'll say no. Anytime that she goes away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Ain't no sunshine. When she goes away. When she goes away. Thank you guys.
Great Bill Willie. We just lost
Am I
him.
staying here?
Thank you.
We just lost him in 2020.
See you next time.
Bye everybody.
Bye, guys.